Hey class, so I'm gonna be doing crits I think we're doing groups of 4. We might have the last group with 3 people, which is fine. Um, that way you can get some feedback on your work and then revise for the next week. So we're gonna start off with, I believe this is Saul's work. So Saul, this is a good attempt. I think those look really nice side by side. They definitely have some similarities, which is fine. One thing I would like to point out is we're getting a little too close to the edge right here. So we need a little bit more white space around the edge. So kind of like the space that you have in here, we need that all over. This is nice white space area right here, but we need to address this right here. This is becoming a little too close for comfort. Same goes for your connotative. There are some areas where you get a little too close to the edge, and we want to make sure that this reads a little bit more properly. I like that you're doing the flush left here. I would rather we do that with the rest of the ingredients list to match up with what looks like your like a paragraph, it seems, about the recipe. And then I would also say that your instructions right here, maybe bring this guy over to align with the rest of your paragraphs right here. Okay, and again, this is getting too close to the edge, and you can scale this down a little bit to bring your paragraphs up if that's a problem. So scale this one down so you can make more room right here. Okay, I don't think you need the centered alignment that you have here. I think it just kind of messes up your layout, if anything. I would say you have a nice structure going on with your paragraphs here. Again, I would move this guy either off to this side here, and then make sure you're aligning certain things to letter forms like the T or the D or the other T right here or the H. So we have a little bit more structure and grid format. And then instructions can go here or here, but so we just have some sort of alignment going on. I know you're trying to match the T, but one of your paragraphs should either go align with the rest, like the T, the instructions, and then one paragraph like so, and then maybe this one, these 2 paragraphs can move over to align with the A. Let's make this flush left, and let's align this to the T, and then yeah, let's address this part right here. But I think overall this looks good. I think this is a much better attempt from last week's, so you're in good shape. Let's move on to Mireya's work. Mireya is doing vegan chocolate muffins, chocolate chip muffins. So this is good. I think this looks good for your denotative, and then your connotative here, much better. It reads a lot nicely. I hope you're satisfied with it as well. I like that you bolded some of those numbers here to indicate where we need to go first. So it looks like we have number 1, number 2, and then I believe number 3 is down here. So this is where I would tell you, you know, I know you're trying to do this with your layout, but 1, 2, and then 3, that's asking for a lot for your viewer to read. However, I do like what you've done here with the bold M and the lighter weight text and bolding the numbers. I think this looks nice. Just be careful with how close you're getting to the edge. You're getting a little too close for comfort right here. I would say the V and then the T. So maybe make these smaller. I wouldn't mind if they're as small as the text right here, just so that we have a little bit more breathing room, because overall you have some nice white space going on for you. Just make sure, like, this white space here breathes well, this white space breathes well, but then as soon as we get to this area, it gets a little too crowded for comfort. I would also say this area right here needs some breathing room. And I would like to see either this word match the size of chocolate or chocolate match this, because they kind of look like 2 different kinds of pieces of information when they aren't. So see if we can unify this in some way, either match one of these 2, but have them be the same scale. But I like the layout. I think it looks beautiful, and it's very tastefully done. For your denotative, I think this is good. It's definitely very tight. What I would recommend is a little bit more breathing room. We're getting too close to the edge right here. So let there be some kind of white space between vegan and your paragraph structure. And then I would say that should open up some breathing room for you. I would say see what happens if you start to divide up muffins here for this paragraph and then chip for this muffins here for your directions, just to open it up just a tiny bit, because right now it just feels like one clump. And we want to make sure that we're utilizing our layout all together. But I do like the white space. I do like how the eye travels throughout the look and feel of this. But try to just open it up a little bit more and divide your paragraphs according to your titles. Hope that makes sense. Let's move on to Alejandra's work. So she did pumpkin spice latte. This is much better. I think it's cleaner. I would say get rid of the rule. Remember, we're not using any graphic aids whatsoever. And you're probably gonna think I am gonna say something about this. Yes. So we don't need this. I'd rather you do this with type, just like you're doing right here, creating angles and directing your reader throughout your layout. So again, let's just nix all the graphic aids because we're doing this strictly with type. So your type should be the one doing all the work. I like what you're doing right here. I think it's nice how you've unified the color palette. It works out really well. And I like the fall palette that you've chosen. Just make sure that we are aligning things in a certain way. I'm not sure why we have things in italic over here. I would kind of like this to be maybe upright instead of italic, so a regular font. And then that would probably align certain areas more to your grid. Right? I think this aligns nicely, but I'm not sure where this aligns to. And I think this might have to align either to the K or some other area. But let's try to bring in some areas like this if you want to direct your reader's attention downwards. Okay, I don't mind that, so just as long as we do it just with type. I'm thinking that for your denotative, it's getting a little too close to the edges right here, and it feels like there's not enough white space. I feel like there's some awkward areas being created. And I would like to see either maybe ingredients kind of live down here where you have this L form this space right here. Just so we can kind of see what this layout looks like. Because right now it just looks like it's too symmetrical. We have the same thing going down right here. And again, it's getting a little too close to the edge. So it would be nice to see some kind of asymmetry. So maybe bring some information down here and see if that opens up some white space in general. And then try to see if we can align to the left instead of to the right. Okay. Let's move on to Harold's work. Harold, this looks so much better. I think this is absolutely gorgeous. I really like what's going on. I like how your grid is just very organized and you can see it. There are no graphic aids whatsoever. The lines that are being done over here are all punctuation, and that works for me as long as it's something that is within your font palette. Just make sure you're aligning things a certain way, which it looks like you are. And then this guy over here, let's make sure that he's aligned to something, your ingredients list right here. But I think overall, I really like how the white space travels in this layout nicely. What I would say is the only area might be this space that's being created. Maybe there's something we can address about this white space right here. But I think overall this looks beautiful. Really, really good job. I'm impressed. And this is for your connotative. Much better. I think it reads a lot easier, and you can see the illustration of the cake all made out of type. And I like your color choice, berry layer cake. It definitely is very approachable and
Just careful with one area right here. Just when you get closer to the top and to the bottom, you are starting to lose legibility. See if we can address maybe these two paragraphs and this top half part of the ingredients, but I think this is absolutely stunning. And another thing I would say is you're getting a little too close to the edge right here. So see if we can, I would say this edge and this edge, if we can just make it a little bit smaller, or see if there's a way to eliminate being that close. But I think this looks beautiful. I think you did a really good job. Only a few areas to fix and finesse, and I think you're there. So this brings me to the end of the critique for group 1. I will see you in the next video for group 2.